You don't have to find your queen, but I want her marked. I want to see her. I want to watch her walk around. Okay, but that's going to take a lot of time to find her. What's up, everybody? David Burns, EAS Certified Master Beekeeper with you again. Thanks for joining me, friend. Great to be with you for another beekeeping video. And I have a special beekeeping shirt on because it's black and yellow, gold beekeeping colors. And I showed it to my wife. And I said, I think I'm gonna wear this on a YouTube video. What do you think? And she said, are you trying to be Elvis Presley? I don't know what she meant by that. I just thought it would kind of be like cool beekeeping shirts. Plus, we're gonna give away a free ultimate course. We have a winner who had correctly identified what this frame is, okay? I'll tell you about it in just a minute. Let's get started. I'm also gonna give a shout out to 4 subscribers, so keep watching. You might see your name soon. All right, so let me roll these sleeves down. This looks better. All right, so I wanna share some of these struggles that beekeepers have shared with us, and I wanna give some insights as to how maybe to overcome these struggles. And as I read these, I'm sure you're going to be able to say, I can relate to that. So Steve says, our biggest struggle seems to be with small hive beetle. We hate those little boogers. Smash as many as we can during inspection and use oil traps. Yeah, small hive beetles in certain parts of the US can really be a hassle, and you're absolutely right. Smash them, use some oil traps between frames, and there are a lot of other techniques that work just as well. The big thing here is to keep very strong colony. The stronger your colony is, the better chance you'll have at preventing small hive beetle from totally ruining your colony. So keep those colonies strong. Mary says, the biggest struggle I have is in trusting my judgment and not just following the other beekeepers around me. Oh my gosh, that is so true. I see this all the time. I see it at beekeeping club meetings where somebody will say something and new beginners just line up behind that person and accept whatever they say. A new study comes out and everybody lines up and has to do that thing. Be careful about that. Take your time, let things sink in, use your good judgment, and sometimes you know what's best for your bees and you know what's best for how to manage your bees, and it may not be the same for somebody else. So trust your judgment. That's a good point. Ian says, as a new beekeeper, finding the queen is always a struggle. The other thing I struggle with is slowing down during my inspections. I tend to rush through them. Yeah, boy, that is so true. The last video I made about emotional intelligence and applying it to your bee inspection, boy, that's so true. Rushing through it, being pressured in your inspection, you're gonna miss a lot. And I have always said, go slow when you're inspecting your colony. Slow motion movement, take your time, know what you're looking for before you go in there. Don't just show up and haphazardly start looking at frames, not knowing what to look for. Know what you need to look at. Maybe you want to find your queen, make sure she's laying, and then you want to get done and get out of there. So take your time, don't rush it, but don't take forever. Jeannie says, new beekeeper here. I had trouble getting my bees to draw out comb last year. You know, that's true, Jeannie. I know that sometimes it's tough because it depends on when you put the frames in there. I have beekeepers all the time. They'll call me up in August or September and say they just gave their colony some new frames and they can't understand why they're not drawing them out. Well, they can't because it's August or September. Once the season kind of comes to an end, there's not a lot of nectar out there, they don't draw a lot of wax out. You need to get your wax drawn out early in the season. It takes about 11 pounds of nectar or honey for the bees to consume in order to activate their wax glands and to make 1 pound of wax. So if you go into a dearth like we have in August and September and you give them a frame to pull out, it's not going to happen. They don't have the incoming nectar to activate those wax glands. So just make sure that you do it early in the year. Also, add some wax to the frames. Buy some beeswax off of Amazon, melt it down, brush it, put a thin coat on your plastic foundation. It does come with wax, but adding more can help them draw it out quicker. Next we have Andy. He says, my biggest struggle is timing. Last year I was late closing my entrance reducer and the yellow jackets almost cleaned out my 2 colonies. Timing is something that will come with experience. Fortunately, I took your online classes and knew how to react and what to do. Feed, feed, feed. So far, I still have 2 colonies. Wow, that's great to hear, Andy. And thank you for taking my classes. I really do appreciate that. And I'm glad they were helpful to you. Yeah, you got to watch for yellow jackets. If you leave them open in the fall, there can always be an onslaught of attacks from wasps and other critters. So good idea to narrow that entrance down in the fall. Never feed entrance feeders in the fall either. Take precautions that way. Well, that's good. Kimberly says, my biggest struggle is restraining myself from getting in there to see them more than once a week or 2. Well, I get that. I know a lot of people feel like they're in their hives too often. I get into some of my hives, I get in there a lot because I'm making videos for you. I may be in there a couple times a day. I'm not really, I'm a careful bee inspector. I don't like to kill bees while I'm doing my inspection. I have observed other people who wear big, bulky gloves, and they don't really notice that they're killing a lot of bees when they're handling their frames. And that's bad. I don't think it's good to kill bees when you're doing your inspection. There are sometimes you kill bees, you can't help it. But there are sometimes you can help it and you shouldn't be killing bees. But if you go in there often and you're really gentle with your bees, you're not killing bees, it's not too disturbing. And don't stay in there too long. So yeah, once or twice a week, I think you can get by with doing inspections like that. If you inspect your hive 5 times a day, that's too much. And they're gonna let you know it and probably be irritated at you. So use your good judgment. Well, what's Randy's struggle? He says crop dusters. Oh my gosh, that's really bad. Not much you can do about crop dusters. Farmers have the legal right to take care of their crops. There's a lot of different organizations like Driftwatch you can register your hives with. And that way, when crop dusters spray, they'll contact you a few days early. You can close them off or move them to another location while they're spraying. So there's a lot of ways to work with crop dusters. The big thing I would say, always be nice, work with your farmer, and try to come to an agreement on making sure your bees don't get killed by overspray. Richard says, my biggest struggle is inspections. Yeah, I get that. That's why I make a lot of videos on inspecting your colony. I get a lot of feedback like this from new beginners, and they tell me, man, it's tough making my inspections. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know how to respond to what I see. And they're just struggling. And so I'm working hard to that end. That's why I make a lot of videos for you guys. And I'm trying to help you understand how to make those inspections and what you're looking for. But again, some of you haven't taken any classes yet. I got a secret for you. There's something called T.A.C. that is so awesome that will help you become such a better beekeeper. The acronym T.A.C. It is so cool. I'll tell you about it in just a minute. So Richard, I understand inspections can be tough. Never do an inspection blindly without any idea of what you want to look for. You have to know what you're looking for. So like, here's an example. I'm going to open up my hive today. I want to know if I have a queen. Now here's where people make a mistake. They open up a hive and they start looking for their queen. Don't do that. What does the queen do? I'll give you a minute. All right, time's up. The queen lays eggs. So instead of trying to find one bee out of 60,000 on top of each other, why don't you just look for eggs? 1 day old eggs straight up in the cell, you have a queen. There's no need to find her. You know, you have a queen. So I do that often. Is my queen in the hive? Is she still there laying eggs? Is she in good shape? I pull a frame up, I see eggs. If that's all I'm looking for, I had a 1-minute inspection, close it up. See how cool that is? You don't have to find your queen, but I want her marked. I want to see her. I want to watch her walk around. Okay, but that's going to take a lot of time to find her, and you could accidentally kill her while you're looking for her. Maybe you want to open up your hive because you want to see if you have any small hive beetle. So as soon as you open up the top, flip that lid over, look for small hive beetle. And if you see some, put some traps in, oil them up, start trapping. Things like that. Have a working to-do list of what you're going to inspect and what you want to see so you can get in and get out. And David says his biggest struggle is overwintering colonies. That's a big one. I saw several comments about that on our Facebook page. Overwintering colonies is really tough. I have a whole course on getting your bees through the winter. Keep that in mind. Get that course under your belt by this next coming August. So that'll give you a head start on getting your bees through the winter. Again, these are comments left on our Facebook page, Honeybees Online. If you haven't seen that, go to our Facebook page, because tomorrow, I think it's the last day, Sherry's going to be giving away, I think, smoker fuel, a special type of smoker fuel tomorrow. So go to that Facebook page and maybe leave the comments, whatever she's going to ask for tomorrow, and you might be the winner of some cool smoker fuel. Now, this person says, I'm a new beekeeper. Everything is a struggle. I hope that through your mentorship program, I become a stronger beekeeper. Oh, good. They're talking about my Bee Team 6 mentorship program. Boy, I have had so many people request to sign up for that here recently. It has been somewhat overwhelming on the people that are interested. We do have about 6 spots left in Bee Team 6. That is a mentorship program where you can actually email me or text me or call me on my cell phone. You get only me, nobody else, and I can walk you through the troubles that you're having. It's a mentorship program. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to be one of the people to take these last 6 spots. I only take 200 people a year, and if you make this team, it's really a good thing. It really is. I enjoy it. I learn a lot from you and hearing what kind of struggles you're having, and I know that you're benefited by having a master beekeeper at the fingertips of your phone to help you through your problems. So, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Look forward to working with you. Angie says her biggest struggle is winter. If only I could win the lotto and buy some property somewhere warmer, I could move them to there in the fall. Yeah, I understand that. It seems like bees have a hard time making it through winter. But on the other hand, Angie, people in the South can lose their colonies from the same problems we have. It's not so much winter as it is that the varroa mites are spreading viruses, and those viruses take their tolls on our bees in the wintertime. And next we have Deb that says, my biggest struggle is getting my bees through the warm, cold, warm, cold. I started to watch your videos about a year ago, and I've learned so much. I've been using your Winter Be Kind this winter. My bees love that. Thanks for it. Yeah, that's a great technique of feeding your bees in the wintertime that I discovered many years ago. And these Winter Be Kinds are so good. So many of you wanted these all winter long after we met our maximum that we could produce. So be sure and order those the first day in August of this coming year. You want to get one, and the earlier you place that order, 1st of August, the sooner you'll get those in December and put them on your hives. Now let me talk to you about T period, A period, C period. I'm going to be mentioning this acronym a lot over the next few weeks and months. It's one that I created, and it's one that you've heard me talk about, but I'm going to push it really hard now because I see more and more people here on YouTube asking me questions, showing me that you haven't taken very basic beekeeping classes while attempting to keep your bees. TAC stands for Take a Class. So when you see me say TAC, you know what I mean. Have you taken a class? As I've said before, if we're watching little pieces of beekeeping on YouTube and occasional books here and there, but we don't have a fundamental that the classes offer about a fundamental of beekeeping and how to keep bees, we're kind of at a disadvantage just pot shot picking up a piece here and there off YouTube and trying to keep bees based on trying to tie together these broken pieces of YouTube videos. I'm not knocking YouTube. I love YouTube, and I love you being a subscriber. Oh, wait a minute, you're not? You mean you haven't subscribed? What are you waiting for? I'm helping you. I need you to take a moment and help me. Trying to reach 100,000, we're getting closer, so please subscribe. Taking a class will make all the difference in the world on you being a more successful beekeeping. So TAC, take a class. Now let's talk about this. A lot of you made comments about what this is. A lot of you thought it had something to do with comb honey. Some of you had ideas that it was some kind of a slatted bottom rack, and but this is actually a frame, as you can see. A few of you thought that it had something to do with queen rearing, but in my video, I actually said at about 14 minutes and maybe 20 seconds, I actually said it does not have to do with queen rearing. What does it have to do with? Well, the winner, the first person to answer it correctly, was Big Worm, and they said that it was a banking frame for banking mated queens. And indeed it is. Years ago I wrote that on here. I don't know if you can see it, but it says banking on there in the yellow print. And so I made this myself exactly to fit these California mini cages. And so you put your mated queen here in this little cage, and then I just made it perfect size where that wedges in like this. And so as you can see, the frame holds these California mini cages perfectly. And then I would have a lot of these queens that are mated and laying really well, and I would bank them. So you put the mated queen here in this frame, and then you put this frame in a double deep high body with the queen excluder, keeping the queen in the lower deep. And so the bees in the top deep continue to feed these queens in here. The queens are by themselves with no attendants, and it works really well. This is a queen bank frame. So congratulations to Big Worm, and if you'll email us here at this address, we will actually send you our ultimate beekeeping course worth $269. That was a big win for you. Congratulations. We're going to have a big shout out today and a thank you for being a subscriber to Renee Allen. Hey, thanks Renee, appreciate you being a subscriber. She says, is that a frame for comb honey? You can see what it is now. So not a comb honey frame, but thanks Renee for being a subscriber. We appreciate it. Another shout out to a subscriber, EveDog68 says, thanks for thinking of beginners. Hey, I appreciate that. Means a lot to me. As I said, a disconnect is often out there, and new beginners really don't have a way to get a good foothold into beekeeping other than just blunder their way through. So I'm here to kind of blend that. I'm here to try to help you as a new beginner get a hold of things with beekeeping. So I'm glad I'm here for you guys, and I'm glad you picked up that I'm there for beginners. Thank you. Thanks for being a subscriber. I appreciate it. Another shout out to Brickster99 who says, my bees will arrive this spring. I'm new. Is that frame for making comb honey? Like the comb you put in that mason jar? Thanks for the video. Well, thank you. I appreciate you being a subscriber. If you'd like to receive a shout out on my videos, please subscribe and I'll give a shout out in a future video, maybe just for you. I'm glad I had a chance to address some of the struggles that many of you are facing as beekeepers. And one of the struggles is emotions. A lot of you are going to be dealing with emotions when you're inspecting your hive. You wouldn't think you would. But I hear back from a lot of beginners and they tell me, I'm really emotional, I'm really concerned, I'm worried. And I just made a great video about how to apply emotional intelligence to your beekeeping inspections. Check this video out, it's going to be really helpful to you. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.